Hello and welcome to Nerd Legacy. John here with Top 10 Saints Row cutscenes. Number 10. It's the prologue to Saints Row 1. In this cutscene, you were the first. This is the first cutscene anyone has seen of any Saints Row game. Here you find out that there are multiple gangs, the Rollers and others, as such the Wheelers and all them. You find out the Vice Kings and all them are in a giant gang war, and you were just getting mixed up in all of this. Uh, During this cutscene, you learn that the city of Stillwater is no place for anyone who has no business here. Giant gang war breaks out, and you are left up into the end, where you are about to be killed by a Vice King who was later killed by a member of the Third Street Saints named Julius. Julius is the leader of Third Street Saints, and he invites you to the church. The church is their meeting place. And this is how you get to really understand that this is the Saints. This is the first cutscene where you ever see anyone, hear of them, or know that there's something going down. For instance, now is the first time you get to meet Johnny Gat, one of the most famous characters in all of Saints Row. And, yeah, of course you get canonized. But this cutscene allows you to see that you're a part of something now. This is just the beginning of Saints Row. And nothing is going to stop you from being it. Number 9. Number 9 is in Saints Row 3. This cutscene here shows you being met with Philippe. Philippe, who's the leader of the Syndicate, which is the newest gang in Steelport. Philippe says he demands you give him most of the control of Saints Row, the Third Street Saints, profits, and everything you got from Ultor. Of course, none of the Saints realize this, and they get into a giant fight. The fight results into what we figured was the death of Johnny Gat, and Philippe gets off the plane, and you have to hunt him down in revenge of your fallen comrade Johnny Gat. So, this cutscene really, really symbolizes the start of Saints Row 3, and to me, is one of the better cutscenes out there of all of them. This list was hard to make enough with all these good cutscenes. This one's good, as well as Johnny Gat's alleged death aboard the cutscene. Number 8, we have Ultor in Saints Row 2. And Ultor was a company that was a big problem during the time of Saints Row 2. They would work with every gang, the Brotherhood, the Ronin, and Sons of Sondi. And they were destroying your gangs. At the end, you get to Ultor, and he claims he'll help you at being the biggest fan. It doesn't matter. You shoot him in the mouth to finally end the reign of Ultor, and he falls out of his 50-story building. There was no way he was living that. Pierce, Shondi, Gat all meet up with you, and you learn that you've taken over Stillwater. There's nothing left. The Saints are now in charge of Stillwater. Along with that, they got a really good pilot. And with the plane flying off into the sunset, you definitely know that now you're in charge, that you run Stillwater, and no one else can take that away from you. And you gotta know, you're the boss. You do whatever you want. Number 7, we have the end of Saints Row 1. As you can see here, Senator is running to be the governor or senator of Stillwater, and you meet him on the boat. You killed his contestants. All your friends are now scattered out. You are the only one on the ship. And he talks of how you helped him defeat his opponent, and now he's in the running. No one else can stop him. There's nothing anyone can do to stop him from becoming the leader or the governor. Of course, you disrespect him and understand that he has no purpose in this, but he was planning to never let you live in the first place. So, you were about to be murdered by his hench guards, but the ship was blown up by none other than Julius. Number 6, we have the death of one of my favorite characters. Carlos was a young boy in Saints Row 2 who met you in prison. He got himself shanked to meet you in the first place. He had big dreams of becoming part of the Saints like his brother. He knew you from the Saints and his brother, so he wanted to help you get out. You put the little guy in charge of the Brotherhood, and after you mess with the Brotherhood enough, the Brotherhood straps Carlos to the back of their truck and drives him over the street, killing him, or almost killing him. And you knowing that there's no other choice, there's no way to help Carlos, no way to save him, you put him out of his misery, ending poor Carlos's life with a gun. And you feel bad, but you know there was no real choice on what to do. Number 5, we have the Ronin at the funeral. Here, Gat just lost his wife Aisha. They've been characters since the first game, and the Ronin killed Aisha. And Gat went to their funeral to obviously pay respect. This young Ronin came here looking to disrespect and fight and warn Gat that there was nothing he could do. But instead, this little Ronin, he got he was just destroyed. Nothing he could do or anything he could do could stop Gat. Gat just beat him senseless. Beat this Ronin senseless. And at the end, he took the Ronin and buried him alive, making sure that this boy would never become leader of the Ronin, would never be part of the Ronin, and would never live. And this was all revenge for his wife's Aisha's death, which later games he doesn't really ever get closure. People just make the death of Aisha worse than it is. And that's number 4. Number 4 is actually the death of Aisha. Here the Ronin are fighting Saints in Stillwater, and Gat came home to find the door cracked. The Ronin had snuck into the house and tied up Aisha, and were planning an ambush to kill Gat and our protagonist. But once he was coming in and about to get attacked and defeated, Aisha told him that it was a trap leading up to her death. As she screamed it was a trap, he cut her head off, and he had to fight the Ronin in the house to clear them out. But Aisha died here, and his enemy became him. They fought into a sword battle to the death, leading up to Gat actually getting stabbed in the side of his stomach, and resulting for him to have to go in the hospital. And later, they even attacked the hospital that Gat was recovering at. And then, of course, later they attacked the funeral, which that boy was buried alive in. Once this guy was defeated, Gat still never recovered fully from his pain and suffering of Aisha's death, where later he would have to repeat it over and over again. But we'll get to that one. For right now, Gat loses the sword in the fight against his arch enemy, or for the most part he does. Now, Gat will have to relive this painful day for actually maybe years. Number three, we have the heroes in Saints Row the Third. In the third, you were given the choice at the end to go after Killbane or save Shaundi and Viola from a tower that they had filled with explosives. They were going to explode it, kill them, and blame the Saints for the destruction of the National Monument. But you end up saving Viola, the statue, and everyone thinks you're a hero. Cyrus then warns you that if you ever do anything again, he'll be back. But here, you know you've won. You've saved your friends, you saved the city, and you are now a treasured hero. Number 2 is the return of Johnny Gat. In the third, we thought he was killed by Philippe. Turns out Johnny was actually taken by the aliens and put in a simulator called Saints of Rage, where he would fight through hordes of enemies to get to Aisha and watch her die. The game would end and it would reset, and he would have to repeat this over and over and over again for many years to come. So, after you defeat the Saints of Rage, you actually reset it to where she doesn't die and you win. You then enter the spaceship where Zinyak keeps all of his people, and you find Gat broken out in a room filled with 100 dead aliens, and you are reunited with the number one psychopath that's your best friend ever to exist in anything. He then goes to explain that he was fighting Philippe in the ship, and he was winning, despite of what we thought. After he was done beating Philippe, the leader of the Zen Empire, Zinyak, he took him away as he thought he was the biggest threat and could single-handedly stop the Zen Empire's attack. Number one is the biggest of them all. What could top any of that is this, that you've just defeated Zinyak, ripped his head off of his body, and became the new leader of the Zen Empire. You are now the most powerful person in the universe, and discovered that even though Earth was destroyed, there is time travel. And you could go back to Earth and visit it then, but when it was past. You also find out that the announcer that has been telling the story, the narrative, is actually on the ship, and her name is Jane Austen, and she was the one who was talking about everything. And besides that, at the end, you even get a little dance party. A dance party where to celebrate that you have actually done it. You have beaten Saints Row 4, and you've done everything possible you could. And now you're treated to everyone doing little dance breaks. I mean, who doesn't want to see Sid do a break dance? I mean, the little guy, he's just talented like this. That's all I have to say. Well, that was my top 10 list of the Saints Row cutscenes. If you have any Saints Row cutscenes you wish were added inside of this, let me know. Leave a like and a comment, and tell me if every scene here was perfect, or if you had a particular one that was your favorite that was left out. My name is John Arshin. I'm with Nerd Legacy, and all I have to say is good night.